Time for another coffee with Kilroy. Or, beverage, book, my beverage coffee. Let's have a fresh pot right there. The book today is Decline and Fall, Byzantium at War. This is a gaming companion for Field of Glory, which is a rule set for ancient and medieval battles. So a lot of these books, or all these companion books, are really just army lists. They give you some context on the armies, and usually some history as well. Maybe even some maps and the like, but really it's a group of army lists. So you can build your army and fight battles in this time period. Let's take a look at the back of the book here. Your once mighty empire stands alone, with enemies on all sides. Byzantium, the foremost power of the ancient world, must endure or die. With Decline and Fall, the Field of Glory companion, you can recreate the epic struggle of Byzantium's commanding its... I'm going to have a hard time with that. I'm going to need coffee. Katafraka Koi, Shukot Koi, and Varagan are guard. Oh man, drink, whenever I butcher something, as I am apt to do, you need a drink, and if you're drinking something stronger than coffee, good luck getting to the end of this. Or with one of its many enemies, including the Vandals, the Visigoths, the Lombards, the Slavs, the Arabs, Turks, and Moors. I did better there. Enhance your gameplay with this addition to the original rulebook, complete with organizational charts for hundreds of accurately researched troop types, detailed historical overviews, and supporting maps and artwork. And so, I get this as a reference book, but if you want to use these army lists, you need to have these rules, Field of Glory, which are the base rules. Let's get inside here and see what we have to look at. Here are the contents. You have early Byzantine, later Moorish, later Visigoth, African Vandals, Italian Ostrogoth, Gothic, early South Slav, Lombard, Marrakian, Byzantine, Christian Nubian, Avar, Western Turkish, Arab conquest, early Bulgar, thematic Byzantine, interesting. The Umayyad Arab, that was a whole caliph there. Abbasid Arab, another caliph. All right, early North African dynasties. That's the Khurasani dynasties, Bedouin dynasties, Dahlamani dynasties, Kurdish allies, Bagratid Armenian allies, Pechechin allies, and Ghaznavid, and I'm not even going to try that one, but that's Byzantine. So there we go. Let me drink just so I, keep the score correct. So very interesting period. Really focusing on, Byzantine armies and their enemies and allies during this time period. So if you want to war game or tabletop miniature war game during that period, this should be a great reference for that. You're going to have some introduction, which gives you some of the context and background. Here's a map showing kind of the general area of the early Byzantine that we're looking at. You're going to have a starting army, which is kind of just a basic army, but then it's always going to have something a little bit more detailed. We'll be getting to that shortly, but because we're getting a little bit more context and some imagery, so might help you figure out how you want to do your paint scheme for these units. So they always do a little bit of imagery and actually some miniatures in here. That's always a nice addition. And here's that more comprehensive list for early Byzantine, as you can see right here. Very cool. Later Moorish, I should say, not late. They were on time. Later Moorish allies. Here's some Visigoths. You get a little bit of background, and then, an army list or army creation type list that gives you all the details for that army, and so you can play them, right? Ostrogoths, Slav, Lombard, Very interesting here. And I do not know a lot about this. I picked these up mainly for the reference. I don't have any minis for this period of time. In fact, I don't really have a lot of minis in general. I really picked up this system and these books for reference purposes to look at the history and kind of translate from a game tabletop to an actual board game or to the actual history and learn a little bit about it. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But I'd love to know what any of you think about this system, or especially more specifically this book, but this system in general. If there's anything you like or don't like about it, feel free to drop that in the comments down below. Just keep it civil. Here's the Arab Conquest. Bulgar. I do like these maps. I'm very visual when it comes to that. Thematic, I need to figure out what that means. That's just striking me a little bit. So we're getting into some Arab empires here, or kingdoms, or caliphs, as the case may be. You always have the starter armor. Well, for most of these major ones, you have a starter army, and then you're going to have like a more detailed army to build it out. There's some allies here, so I mean you can actually add on the allies as well. Bedouin. Very cool. Some Kurdish. That's interesting. Part of the caliphs there. Elephants. And some names I cannot even try to pronounce, but I'll have another cup of coffee anyway. So there you have it. That is Decline and Fall. Interesting companion book, or gaming companion, I should say, for Field and Glory. That's what I have for you today. Feel free to drop your comments down below on what you think about this. And thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching.